Welcome back to the Sage Audio channel. Today we'll cover how to improve your masters 20% in less than 10 minutes. We'll cover 4 techniques that can be used individually or together and break each one down into simple steps. We'll also listen to the techniques on a stereo mix. So if you could, like, subscribe to the channel, and stick around for the full video. But first, if you're an artist, engineer, or producer and you have a mix that you need mastered, send it to us at sageaudio.com. We'll master it for you and send you a free mastered sample of it. All you have to do is set up an account, upload the song, and we do the rest. So technique number 1 is using a mid-side equalizer to attenuate the side image with a high-pass filter. This is one of my favorite mastering and mix bus techniques. If you've watched any of our videos before, you've most likely seen me talk about it. Essentially, if you use a mid-side equalizer and attenuate the side image with a high-pass filter, you reduce phase cancellation in the low frequencies of your master. It's an incredibly quick and easy way to make your low-end mono and in turn, more driving and focused. I'm going to use the FabFilter Pro Q3 for this, but if you're in Logic Pro X, you can also use the stock equalizer. If you're using a different DAW, Melda Audio's equalizer is free and capable of mid-side equalization. So, step 1, insert the equalizer on your master's track or stereo output. Step 2, create a band and place it on the side image of the signal. Step 3, create a high-pass filter and attenuate up to 130 Hz. Step 4, change the slope of the filter to 24 dB per octave. And step 5, monitor what you've attenuated and alter any settings as needed. Be sure not to move the filter much higher than 130 Hz, or you may start to cut into your guitars, your synths, and other instruments that often work well on the side image. Let's take a listen to this technique. Technique 2 is to use mid-range bass parallel compression, followed by low-level compression. Parallel compression is a great way to add some character and a lot of power to a master. By compressing the signal heavily and blending it in with the original or unprocessed signal, we can achieve just the right amount of compression without resorting to a squashed and unpleasant sound. The setup we'll use here has been adapted to focus the efforts of the parallel compression solely on the mid-range, arguably the most important part of a master and the area that holds the majority of the instrumentation. So step 1 is to create a bus send and auxiliary track. Then set your send to unity. Step 2, after creating the auxiliary channel, insert an equalizer. With this equalizer, create one high pass and one low pass filter. This will isolate just the mid-range. Step 3, insert the parallel compressor of your choosing. I like to use one that's colorful or imparts subtle harmonic distortion onto the signal and uses a more or less non-linear compression type. But what you choose is up to you and depends on the genre you're working on. Step 4, compress the signal heavily. I prefer to lower the channel fader of the auxiliary channel a fair amount and then raise the level with the output of the compressor. This creates even more character. And step 5, which is optional, if you're finding that you're not getting enough character out of your parallel compression alone, follow it with a low-level compressor. This will augment quieter aspects of the signal, bringing forward some subtle distortions and previously masked details. Let's take a listen to it.
When you walk into the room and I can't think straight, there's no one like you, but I want and I chase this feeling with you. Don't walk
Technique 3 is to compress or saturate the signal, followed by a multiband expander. Compression is an important part of mastering a song, but it's not always needed. That said, if your mix is already compressed enough, you can skip this technique. But if the master is lacking some control and could use some gluing together, use either compression or saturation to tie up loose ends. Furthermore, you can follow the compressed signal with a multiband expander. This accomplishes two things. First, it reintroduces dynamics to your master, but ones that have already been controlled. And secondly, it brings forward the detail of the expanded signals since they were previously compressed. So in short, if you do decide to compress your mix, try following it with a multiband expander. If you do, you'll make your master controlled, but dynamic and detailed. Let's take a listen to it.
When you walk into the room and I can't think straight, there's no one like you, but I want in the chase this feeling with you. Don't walk away from this tonight.
Lastly, technique number 4 is to measure the loudest peak and try to control the signal prior to limiting. Out of all the techniques that we've covered here, this one is by far the most challenging. So, if you're finding that it's not working for you, just remember it may take some practice. In short, you decide on a dynamic range for the loudest section of the song that you're mastering, say 5 dB. The section that you pick will typically be a chorus, but if you're in doubt, observe the waveform to find the loudest part of the song. Then, you increase the amplitude of the mix until the loudest peak is as close to 0 dB as you can make it without using limiting. So, if done correctly, the max peak of the signal should be -0.1 dB true peak, and you should have 5 dB of headroom from the quietest part of the signal. If the dynamic range is greater than the predetermined dynamic range that you picked, again in our example, 5 dB, use compression or saturation to control it. I'd use a soft knee compressor for a more natural sound. After compression, and only once the signal falls within the range that you set for yourself, do you introduce the limiter. This way you know exactly what your dynamic range is, and you use natural sounding soft knee compression or saturation to achieve it, not a brick wall limiter. Getting the right balance between compression and your dynamics can be challenging and will definitely be more time consuming than defaulting to brick wall limiting, but it definitely improves the sound of your master. Let's take a listen to it.
When you walk into the room and I can't think straight, there's no one like you, but I want in the chase this feeling with you. Don't walk away from this tonight. I'll be again. Where do we land? Tell me, is it too soon? Losing my cool, breaking my rules. I'm going crazy over you. My hands, they shake when you walk into the room and I can't think straight. There's no one like you, but I want in the chase this feeling with you. Don't walk away from this tonight.
So, these are our thoughts on making your masters better, but what do you think? Is there a technique that you use that wasn't mentioned here? Let us know about it in the comment section below. Also, if you're an artist or an engineer, send us one of your mixes at sageaudio.com. We'll master it for you and send you a free mastered sample. All you have to do is set up an account, upload the song, and we do the rest. But thank you so much for watching. We really hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please like and share this video with your friends. This way we know if you'd like to see more videos like this one. Also, you can subscribe to the channel. We release new videos every week, and subscribing is the best way to stay up to date. There's a comment section where you can leave your thoughts on this video, or you can leave a suggestion for a future video. And again, if you're an artist or an engineer and you have a mix that you need mastered, send it to us at sageaudio.com. We'll master it for you and send you a free mastered sample. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you in the next video.